Oh, and we're live. Look at that. Hey everyone, Tim Meyer here, joined by Chad Lutzke. We are doing a live signature sheet signing / Q&A. Pretty much just hanging out and keeping. Chad's going to keep me company while I sign 900 pieces of paper, which is going to be pretty intense. So I'll probably pass out at some point in the middle of doing it. In which case, Chad, you're just gonna have to do it by yourself. So
you got some Tiger Balm or some Ben Gay for your?
I don't have either one of those things. I have beer. That's all I got to get me through this.
Grindhouse mug.
Nice little Grindhouse mug. So I'll be drinking some pumpkin ales to help. And then, we'll just kind of hang out and just chit chat and answer some questions. If you guys have any questions about anything, it doesn't have to pertain to necessarily this. It can be anything. I don't even know how many people are watching right now. Ooh, 4 people are watching right now. So welcome. I like to do like a little introduce ourselves just because you never know who's just going to stumble upon this and not know who we are. So I'll go first. My name is Tim Meyer. I write mostly horror novels. I have over 10 novels published right now, a couple collections, some novellas. Most recently, I have a re-release of a novel that was released earlier this year called Dead Daughters. That comes out in December. And last year I had a novel come out through Grindhouse Press called Limbs that I'm pretty proud of. So, and that's pretty much me. Chad, what about you? Who are you?
I am Chad Lutzke, and I write dark fiction / horror, I guess, / crime, humorous crime noir. And I have I don't write novels though. I it's kind of against my religion, I guess. No, I everything is novellas pretty much, with the exception of I guess Skullface Boy is like 800 words shy of, on purpose, shy of being a novel. But I think I've got I think 9 or 10 of them, 8, 9, 10 of them. I can't remember, something like that. And I enjoy writing, and I'm here because Tim and I wrote something together.
We did write something,
which is a novel.
It is officially a novel. Yeah, I think it just
popped my novel cherry, I guess.
I think it just qualifies too. It's
a short novel.
Yeah, super short, and that's kind of like my favorite. It's kind of what I target to do. I usually like to write short novels because novellas sometimes are too short, and sometimes novels are too long, and I feel like the short novel is kind of like that perfect space, like 50,000 words around there.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a good, solid
sweet spot.
Yeah, that's my preference, but that's just me. I mean, everybody's got their own thing.
So you're signing 900 signature sheets.
Yeah, it's gonna be intense. I should probably get started on that. Right?
Yeah, you should do that. I've got some people in here talking, and I can read it out. No questions yet, but
all right, I'll get started. But first, you have to help me choose a color because I don't know which one to use. I have 3 in front of me, and
you got green.
I do have green. I got a green one.
That's kind of applicable, I think.
Yeah, I think that's because the other choice is pink, hot pink.
That one's good too, actually.
I like it. Or because it's the season, I got a nice little orange one. So should I switch it up? Should I do like 301, 300 another?
Do one letter, one color. The next letter, that won't take you long.
No. No, I feel like I should sign them all maybe in one color, maybe 2 if one runs out, which might happen.
Do it green makes sense.
I like green.
I'll give a little history without saying hardly anything at all on what you're doing.
Yeah, because we can't talk about it, which is the crazy thing about this. But
so you're signing 900 signature sheets that I've signed.
Yeah,
and that's about the extent of it.
Yeah, that's all we can say.
Christian Bernstein. Hey guys, Hey, Christian. Brad Proctor. What's up, guys? Hey, Brad. John Watson. Hey, guys. Hey, John. Christian says green and then orange if you need to.
I like that idea. So orange is my contingency plan.
Okay. So 897
I'm getting there.
more to go.
Going fast, actually. It's I got like a rhythm. Yeah. Once you get in like a rhythm, it's like not that bad.
Yeah. You gonna try to do them all in one sitting?
I don't know. We'll see what happens, man. I would like to, because I don't want to have to do this tomorrow. But if I have to, I have to. I've never signed this many before. I think the most I've signed is like 60. I think when for the Kill Hill Carnage run, I think that was a 60 print run. So
yeah, Zach Dozier. I think. Sorry, Zach, if I mispronounced your name. Is this the most signature sheets either of you have had to sign? Yeah.
Oh yeah. By about 840.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is crazy. But it's good. It's a good problem to have.
Sure, man. Yeah.
I'll take the carpal tunnel.
I know Bowden was signing some as well recently, and he was complaining about it. But it is a good problem to have.
Oh, totally.
Brad Proctor asked if we can say when the secret book is coming out.
I know we're not allowed to yet, but the only instructions that we were told is that all will be revealed next Monday. I think the 20.
Yeah.
I believe is that the Monday?
Yeah, a week from this Monday. So like 9 days.
9 days.
Yeah.
We're hoping to kind of have this like exchange happen post that, but it didn't really work out that way. So
it'll be up before this year, before the year is up.
Yep.
Well before the year is up.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm excited about it, man. Lots of cool.
Yeah, I'm excited about it too. We how long did it take? Like 6 or 7 months to write it? Was it longer?
I know we started planning it out like probably the end of last year.
Mm-hmm.
I know we had like at least talked about it and kind of threw out some ideas, and I think like the first of the year is about when we started actually putting our ideas on paper. So yeah, I'd probably say probably about 7 months it took us to do.
I think at one point I got really ambitious at the beginning of the year, and I was like, we're going to have this done by March 15th, which is a lie that I tell myself all the time. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm going to have this, because I'll get in a mode where I'm like, I'm just blowing through stuff. I'm like super focused for like a week. And then I'm like, oh, at this rate. And I start calculating things at this rate. I'm probably going to have this done by this date. And then I'll go through a week of like not writing, or at least not working on that. I write every day, but not working on whatever project that I thought I was gonna blow right through. And so it's a lie. I lie to myself all the time.
Hey man, you got to keep yourself motivated. Christian asked who has the longest hair. I think yours is longer, right? Probably.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
it's pretty long.
Yeah, yours is definitely long. Mine.
It's ridiculously long.
Yeah. We should have called this the podcast of the two guys who desperately need a haircut.
Yeah. This is just my COVID hair. I had really short hair before. Just kidding.
Yeah, that's what I tell people too. Oh my gosh, just COVID hair.
I'm gonna share this on Twitter one more time.
Do it. Do it up. I'm almost done.
Cool. I'll show this thing. I got this a couple years ago. I guess it was like 5 or 6 years ago. I found this rock in my yard. My wife and I, we were painting. We decided we were going to grab some rocks and do some paintings on them.
That's
I
awesome.
did one about a house, and then I grabbed another one, a rock, and I painted Barlow.
Dude, that is nice. That is really cool.
Isn't that funny?
That's awesome. And it looks just like him.
Yeah.
Dude, I love that TV series.
Yeah, I figured I'd do a show and tell.
Yeah.
Zach said, "Are both of you full-time writers these days, or do you have day jobs too?"
So I have a day job still. So I'm like, I probably could do it. I just like having benefits. So that's kind of the only reason why I have a day job at this point. And I like the consistency, like writing wise, like you never know.
Yeah.
When the money's coming in, really, you can't really control that flow. So I also like the idea of having a steady paycheck at this point. Who knows?
Yeah.
It might change in the near future, but for me, keeping the day job is like a smart option.
I had a day job up until recently, I guess, maybe 4 to 6 weeks ago.
Cool.
Not necessarily because of COVID, but because technology is making my job harder to do, and we keep losing accounts. And so when people get assigned to an account and then we lose it to voice recognition stuff, which is like the devil when it comes to my job, then so I have been just writing and depending on that, like my Patreon page, I've been trying to push that more and add more content, and then royalties and all that kind of stuff, that little book deals and things like that, trying to get by with that. Wesley Southard says, "I need a hug. Will one of you hug me?"
I'll hug you, Wes.
Absolutely.
I'll hug you. I love Wes.
He's a good guy. I like him too. He's a good guitar player too. I've seen him play online. I would have had no idea. I never would have guessed that.
I think that was like his first love, actually. I think he was a music guy.
Yeah, that was my first love. I started playing when I was 16.
It's weird like how a lot of musicians kind of transition into writing. I guess it's kind of like like I still love music and playing music, but I was never good at it, so I stopped. But it's like weird how like those two things kind of go hand in hand.
Yeah. Joshua Marcella, hey fellows, hey Josh. What? Thunderstorm Books. Oh, Paul is here. Wes, I was next in line for a hug. Now you're just handing them out.
I'll hug Paul. I love Paul too.
Speaking of Thunderstorm Books, I'm representing right here, man.
I need to get one of those. I need one.
Lost Cunningham. What's up, Lost Cunningham? Pamela Morris says, "Timmy."
Hey, Pamela.
I'm going to share this on Facebook again right now.
Yeah, got some messages coming in. I'm feeling pretty good though. Like I feel like my hand's gonna hold up.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't write like freehand anymore.
What do you mean? You just like you got sloppy handwriting and is it?
I mean, there's that. But like also like my hands like start to hurt after a while. And I don't know if it's like arthritis or something else, but like just like holding something just can't do it for like a long period of time. But this maybe because it's all in one motion, it's the same thing.
Pamela wants to know what number you're on. You're not counting these, right?
No, God no. I have. Let's see. See if I could show this without revealing anything. I have all of these left.
A lot. Several hundred.
That stack. I'd say I maybe did like 70 already.
Nice, man.
I'm just going.
John Watson says, I've read a bunch of Tim's books and loved them. For Chad, which of yours would you recommend to begin with? I think the gateway one would be I'll Foster Homes and Flies. It's not my favorite, but I think it's the one that is a, if you've never read my stuff before, it's a good kind of gateway book.
I would agree with that.
Zach says, Sharpie, fountain pen, gel pen, pinprick, and a vial of blood. What's the best implement to sign 900 sheets with?
I mean,
a Q-tip dipped in wax between your toes is clearly the most proficient way to do it.
Yeah. I don't know. I like these. I like these pens. This is a Sharpie.
I love gel pens.
I do like gel pens too, but I don't have any of those. This is like a Sharpie. I don't know if you can see it, but it's just like a fine Sharpie that has no bleed through, which is the best for signing sheets.
Hey, Leanne.
Hey, Leanne's here.
She's super supportive.
Absolutely.
I'll show off my Barlow again that I painted on a rock. This is the back of his head.
That's awesome.
Stone art. I've seen some people drawing some just insane artwork on stones, man. It's
yeah,
so
I've seen that too. There's like a thing in our town where people will like paint on rocks and then just leave them around town. You have to like, I don't know.
That's cool.
If that's a thing elsewhere, but like whenever my wife and my kid go on walks, we always find like these painted rocks.
That's cool.
He likes taking them home.
Yeah. Yeah.
He has like a little collection of rocks, but then we like redistribute them after he gets bored of them.
Leanne says, loving the vampire story so far, Chad. Yeah, I've got my doing this vampire type series on my Patreon page, and which reminds me, I'm going to post more chapters tomorrow.
Nice.
I think I got the first 6 on there right now.
What's like the synopsis of that?
I
know you told me about it. You just never gave me.
Yeah, I mean, I can tell you, but it's no. Like I'm so bad with if somebody asks like with the book that we wrote together, someone asks what's about, I freeze because it takes me about like 10 times for somebody to ask me that before I can start to say, yeah, I'm just not good with that. But it's
I'm the same way.
First person female protagonist who is a well-renowned tattoo artist who owns her own shop in Los Angeles. And she is inflicted. It's not supernatural. It has very slight supernatural elements. It's more of a condition that she's been stricken with, and so she kind of had. I guess it's kind of like Dexter meets, because she's more like her. She kind of partners up with her a friend of hers who she was kind of raised with. And this guy is a lawyer. So he's always on the lookout for, and him and then this woman who raised the girl. They're the only two people who know what she has to deal with and how she has to survive and all this whole vampirism thing. So they work together to try to kind of like, if someone doesn't get their, you know, justice or something like that. If this lawyer friend of hers finds out that someone's bad news and they're not going to get nailed for it, or he's in the know somehow with whatever, then he'll kind of like point her in that person's direction and be like, here's where you can feed next, kind of thing.
So like justice
So
served.
yeah, so in that sense, it's kind of like Dexter a little bit.
That's cool. That's awesome, man.
Pamela says it's a thing around here too, and don't even know what I was saying, so I don't know what she's talking about. Sorry, Pamela.
I think that's in reference to the rocks, because I was like, I don't.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if like that's a thing everywhere, or it's just something.
Right. Okay. There you go.
But that's cool. I'm glad that's a thing. It's a really neat and creative thing to do in the community,
Leanne says, I think the collaboration I was most excited about hearing happening was definitely you two. Well, thank you.
Thanks.
That's awesome. We're pretty proud of it, and we think people are going to dig it. Leanne also says, Chad, so far I was pleasantly surprised at some of the original ideas in it. Super cool. Thank you. Yeah, as I mentioned in my Patreon thing, I'll be honest, it's kind of like it's not something that needed to come out. It's more of like I wanted to write something that was a little more popular because it's hard to sell. Nobody is necessarily on Amazon specifically looking for, books about kids with dead mothers and spelling bees, so, but people are looking for, other type of thing. I mean, even, gosh, romance and zombie stuff, you'd think that those wouldn't sell, and those are some of the biggest selling things. So I decided vampires. I like vampires, and I would do my own spin on something and make it my own, but still not necessarily right to market, but write something that hopefully will get to the masses, and then maybe my back catalog can get introduced to just some new readers that like the vampire thing.
Do you find it like hard to do that, like to get motivated for something that like
that I don't really want to do?
Yeah, like I've always thought about. I know you and I have had conversations about this, like just writing popular stuff just to be able to fund yourself so you could write stuff that you really want to write.
Yeah.
But I found that it's always kind of like harder to get motivated and to be creative. And I was just wondering, with this, do you have that, or do you kind of like find something in it to keep you?
No, I'm enjoying it. I'm still proud of it. And the patrons who've read it, or the ones that I know have read it, they've been enjoying it. So it's not like so far reserved. When I initially started it, I wrote the first paragraph as erotica, like this vampire erotica thing. And then I was like, yeah, I don't know if I want to do that. And then so I rewrote it. And I started something completely different, but it was kind of bubblegummy, and it was a little bit more tame. And I wasn't going to have like hardly any death in it. And then and to try to do like a YA audience too. And then I was like, you know what, man, that's just not, I need to make it more me, so that, and that's when I was, excuse me, that's when I was thinking about doing it under a pseudonym, so that my readership wouldn't get confused. And then I thought, nah, I'm just gonna throw some grit in there and make it sound and just feel like something that I wrote. So I think that people are gonna dig it.
That's awesome, man.
Paul wants to know what kind of beer you're drinking.
All right, so I got this is a Jack O from Sam Adams. It's one of their seasonal pumpkin beers. It's really good, actually. It's slowly becoming my favorite. And then I have on backup for the next one, I got this guy, Voodoo Ranger Atomic Pumpkin, which is
The spicy version.
yeah, it's got pumpkin, cinnamon, and chili peppers in it. So it's a little spicy, but they're good. I've had them before, and they're quite tasty. It's got a little bit of a kick in it, obviously because of the peppers, but it's not overwhelming.
Mm-hmm.
And like you definitely, it's weird. Like you taste the pumpkin first, and then like the pepper hits you like a minute after. It's really weird. The first time I had one, I didn't know that it had peppers in it. And I thought like I was allergic to it. And I was having some sort of allergic reaction because my mouth went like all tingly and numb. Like, what is happening to me?
For those just tuning in, Tim is signing 900 signature sheets for ones that I have already signed for a book that we have coming out this year, and that's all we can say about it.
Super secret.
Super secret. But it's got an awesome cover.
Yeah. I can't wait for people to see the cover.
Yeah, by Zach McCain, who Tim and I have both used. Tim used him just once, right? For Kill Hill Carnage?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, Sinister Grin Press uses him a lot for a lot of the stuff that they do. And he did that. And then Thunderstorm used the same cover, and it was just tweaked a little bit, had like a different color scheme.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, all right. I saw that.
But yeah, I love both versions. They're
yeah, that's a great cover. I used Zach for the first time I used him was for I can't even remember now, but I've used him for Out Behind the Barn, me and John Bowden, and then The Same Deep Water as You. He also did the Pale White cover. And he did Halo of Flies, which is the 4 novella collection that Thunderstorm put out, which is gone. And he also did, I feel like he did, and he did the book that we're doing. I swear he did one more of mine, but he's also doing the cover for the vampire thing.
Oh, he is?
Yeah. I'm supposed to be starting that soon, so, but I haven't heard back from him yet. But he works pretty fast. I like working with him. Joshua says he's excited to hear what the book is. Yeah, we can't wait to share it with people. Well, Red Beard. Hey, Kevin. Deepwater is your favorite cover of my covers. Me too, man. I really, really like that cover. I like some of the I like all the covers I did too, but not even close to Deepwater. Like I did Skullface Boy, Wallflower, the original of Ostrums and Flies with the fly and the chalkboard. But and the Him Deep Down. But Same Deepwater as You. That's one of my favorite book covers of all time ever. I love that thing. You did a great job.
That's a sweet book cover.
And Deepwater is one of my favorite books too, but it's also one of those ones where it was. I just wrote it for me. I figured there would be, people out there that might dig it and might not, and that was okay because it was just kind of like just an experiment for me that I wanted to write, and a lot of people really dig it. So I was glad. It's always cool when you do something 100% for yourself with the hopes that people will jump on, and get it, and then they do. Love that.
That's the best. That's actually the one book of yours I haven't read.
It is definitely not horror. It gets really dark, but it's not. It's and it's the most coming of age, like strictly coming of age book that I've written.
Really?
Yeah.
Even more so than Foster?
Yeah, because you're dealing with, it's more of there are more lessons learned in it, and they're teenagers, and there's more kids hanging around and stuff, and there's like sex and drugs, and alcohol, and so it's got a lot more rather than just kind of one event
Gosh,
with.
dude, there's so many sheets.
I know.
I
So I
like.
did.
I'm feeling pretty good. Like I put like a nice little dent in, it and I look over, and there's still.
Hmm. Yeah. So I did this thing way earlier this year where I was reading a bunch of books, and then I was like, I'm not reading anymore until I get like one or two books on my Goodreads thing, and because it's starting to kind of like stress me out, and I
Yeah.
wanted to be like just where I'm just kind of like reading maybe a short story collection, and because I read those for a long time, because I'll read like a story or two in between novels or something else. I never usually read a story collection through from start to finish, unless it's like, I think I did that with Peaceable Kingdom with Jack Ketchum, unless it's like exceptionally good, where I just absolutely love the author. But yeah, so I screwed up and I kind of relapsed in that, and I started picking up all kinds of books, and then I would put one down and then find it weeks later and be like, oh man, I totally like I started this, and it makes it look like the book isn't good, and it is. I started the second book in Gregor Zane's Hanover Block series, which was I read the first one, it was a great book. I'm like a third of the way through this. It looks like it's even better, and I'm like, oh, but what about this? And then I would pick up what else did I pick up? Oh, and then I pick up like this. John Bowden sent me this. I had never heard of Ron Rash before, and I love this book. Short stories. It's like a cross between like Raymond Carver and like a darker Raymond Carver, but a less dark Jack Ketchum. And then I started my first Chuck Palahniuk recently.
Ooh, it's a good one. I got that.
Yeah, it is good. And then I started this. That's actually my first Hunter Shea even.
Nice.
This is killer. No pun intended. It's very good. Really enjoying it. And then a couple of short story collections on my Kindle. Like I was asked to do some blurbs, and so
That's awesome. I do the same thing. I kind of like bounce around between 3 or 4 different.
Yeah.
I usually have like an audio book going, like a hardcover book, and a paperback book, and a Kindle book going all at once.
Let's see. Leon says, Tim, are you still thinking about writing fantasy?
Yeah, I so earlier this year I started writing a really epic fantasy novel, and I got like 40,000 words into it, and I just like I couldn't write it anymore. It just kind of like hit a wall, and it's not that I didn't like the story or the characters or anything. I don't know. I just couldn't find a way to just motivate myself to continue writing it.
Yeah.
So it's on the back burner for now. It's there. It's got like some good bones to it. I think honestly what it was is like I think the story is just because it's fantasy and that's just the nature of that like genre. Just like it was such like a daunting task, and like the story kept like becoming bigger and bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
So I was like, I don't. And I had just written that 200,000 word novel, *Malignant Summer*, the year before. So I was kind of like burnt out from writing something really long, which is when we decided to do this and make it like a short novel. I was like really into it because I was like, oh man, I want to write something short again. So I think I also had that on my mind. So I kind of abandoned it and started writing another novel that I'm like also 45,000 words into, and that's kind of looking like it's going to become like another whopper of a novel. But I don't know. The fantasy might actually end up becoming like some sort of series or something. And maybe I'll write it. Maybe I'll get back to it. Not anytime soon though, because I have this and I have like 3 other books that I have to write before I hop back into it. So short answer is yes. I am still thinking about it.
Joshua Marcella says, when you sit down to write, do you guys start with a plot in mind, or do you wing it as you go?
That's a great question. I want to hear your answer first, though.
Okay. And I'm assuming Joshua, that you're talking about like solo efforts, because like what we did together, usually collaboration involves some type of at least minor outline.
Sometimes.
Sort of. Don't have to necessarily write it down. I don't think we wrote ours down. It was just spitballing and throwing ideas back and forth. And
yeah.
For me, I don't outline. I outlined once because I was paid to write a manuscript in someone else's world using their characters, and that was a cool learning experience. It was fun, but I didn't like the outlining part, and so and it was a really super extensive outline, and I didn't like that. So with my thing, I'll usually just come up with an idea. But Foster Homes and Flies, for example, I was reading Midnight Rain by James Newman. Incredible book. If you haven't read it and you like boys' life, you're gonna love Midnight Rain by James Newman. It was my first book that I've read of his, and it's so good. It's seriously, it's right up there with boys' life. It feels a lot like boys' life. And anyway, I was reading it, and there was a scene in there where this kid is coming downstairs to his mom. And his mom isn't a bad person. She's not like this raging alcoholic or anything. There was no fear of the mother dying or anything. But for whatever reason, I do this when I watch movies and when I read, anytime I'm reading a book or short story, I start to like think about what could happen next. And so I thought, what if this kid goes downstairs and his mom is dead? And then what would he do? But again, the story had nothing to do with that. It was never going to happen in this story. It was just my mind wandering. And then I thought, what if he didn't say anything? Why would he not say anything? And then I was like, well, maybe he had a spelling bee that really meant a lot to him, that he wanted to get to. So he would just leave his mom rotting in the house for a week. And I just kind of stared off for maybe 5 or 10 minutes and wrote the whole book like that in my head, and then started writing it, I think, the next day. And then so that's kind of like an example of how I write all of my books. And the short stories that I write often just I will write a sentence that intrigues me enough to keep going. So like if I wrote a story, I think one of the first lines I have in one story is like, let me give an example, I guess, since we've got time. Here's one from Spicy Constellation. I was on my second hit of scotch when the conversations turned dark. I didn't know where it was going. I just thought that is intriguing to me and I would want to keep reading. So, if it hooks me in the first line, then I'll just keep going. And a lot of my short stories are written like that. Another one is Rebecca was the only one to notice her father was dead. I love opening lines that force you to need to know what's going on. Here's another one from Spicy Constellation, the story. We were on drugs, I think. So just little
like one-liners just get you started.
Yeah. And then like I said, most of these, there's another one called When It Rains. The first maggot dropped 10 minutes after Dylan Davis sat down under the oak tree in his backyard. No idea where it was headed. And of course, you can't just, you eventually change things and stuff like that. But that's the way I like to write most of my short stories anyway. That's easier than just a book. What about yourself, Tim? What do you do?
So I'm weird, and like I don't have like a consistent process. For me, like each book has been kind of different, which is kind of strange because I know a lot of writers are routine and they kind of over time, like develop a process.
Yeah.
Like, but for me, it's like some books I don't outline at all, and I just wing it. And I have at least a good idea of where I'm going. Some I've written like 60 pages of notes and outlines on, which is like almost sometimes as long as the book itself. So it's like, why not just write the book?
Wow. But would that be more like a really rough first draft then for you?
Kind of. I mean, the one that was like a 60, 70 page outline was actually a collaboration. The Sunfall series that I write with my other friend Chad and my buddy Pete, and I think season 2 had book 2 had so much stuff in it that we just needed like a really big outline, like detailed outline. So that's what we decided to do for that. But then like the novel I'm writing now, I started to just go off of what ideas were in my head, and then I got like 30,000 words into it, and I was like, I don't know where I'm going with this. I need to kind of like plan it out a little bit more. Otherwise, I feel like I'm gonna, lose it. Like with that fantasy novel, I feel like I might have needed to do an outline for that. So I went back and like outlined the whole novel, and now I'm past that point where I feel like I might get stuck. There's other things like the Switch House. My wife actually kind of gave me the idea for that one. She basically had an idea for a movie that was about a family that went on like a house swapping reality television show. When they came back, their house was like changed, and so like my idea, like my brain took that, and she told it to me at like 2:00 in the morning when I was sleeping, and then I woke up and I had, like the whole book kind of like in my head, like, and I started working on it that day, and it was like one of the fastest things I've ever written without an outline, without any pre-writing at all.
Nice.
Yeah, and so like In the House of Mirrors was written without an outline. What else? 69 was written without an outline. Limbs was written without an outline. So it really just depends. It depends on the project and how much of it is in my brain, and how much of it is just like, oh, I have an idea, let me run with it. When I do that, I typically end up in a wall and then have to start over again and kind of plan it out a little bit. So for me, it's different. Each experience is different. The book I co-wrote with Patrick Lacey, Lords of the Deep, we didn't outline that at all. We wanted to write a sea monster / pirate ghost book, and I think I wrote like the first chapter and I handed it to him. He wrote the second chapter, and we just started trading chapters back and forth without not even talking about it. And that was kind of fun and exciting to write because we didn't know where it was going, but we also had like each other's like we would leave each other like little hints and clues in the previous chapter to kind of play off of. So that was fun because it was like almost a game and like a little bit of a puzzle that we needed to solve. So yeah, man, it's all different for me.
I am gonna, my Mac is up. All I'm gonna do is jump out of here and then click on the link in my Mac. I'll be out for 10 seconds. So let me in when
I'll look for you. What we got? Some good questions in there. Where do we leave off at? Paul wrote a pretty good question. I'll wait for Chad to come back before we answer that. Scripted, purple prose, answer the light. Zach, that's a good question. So Zach asks, let me see if I can put it up. Yeah, here we go. Are you guys more of a fan of minimalism in your writing, like Chuck Palahniuk, or are you more into descriptive or even purple prose, often found in epic fantasy?
Okay. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. You all right? Good?
Yeah.
All right.
You can probably hear me a lot better now.
Yeah. I was I was going to attempt to answer this one, but if you want to hop in there, I already read it, so just if you want to just go ahead and.
Are you talking about Paul's question?
I was going to do Paul's, but I was going to wait for you to come back, and I didn't know how long you were going to talk. But okay. I don't know if you see it on the screen.
Zach? Yep.
Yeah, Zach.
Yeah. Okay. Are you guys more of a fan of minimalism in your writing, like Chuck Palahniuk, or are you more into descriptive or even purple prose, often found in epic fantasy or the like? I write super duper lean. I love minimalism. I find that when I'm reading stuff that's too descriptive, it takes me out of the story because by default, I think we as readers tend to like fill in the blanks on our own. And some people don't like that. Some people want to know about every nook and cranny in a room or what somebody's eye color is and hair color. Most of my books, I never talk about race or even, just descriptive stuff unless it's, it's needed for the story in particular. But so I'll try to keep everything as lean as I possibly can. And I think it helps move the story along. But I think as a writer, I think that people tend to write what they like to read. So if someone is more descriptive with their stuff, that's what they're going to write. There's no real set, way to do it. I just think we tend to. What about yourself, Tim?
Yeah, I like both styles. I tend to write leaner, I think, than have like a lot of description and just like heavy, like, because I like to keep the story flowing. And I feel like sometimes, like you said, if there's too much of it, it can really just, distract the reader from the actual story.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, keeping it lean is better. But I also like as a reader, I do have like a appreciation for people who can really write descriptive prose well. In like fantasy novels and stuff. So I definitely have like a big appreciation for that. And I mean, I've done it, in some of my stuff's more descriptive. Again, like I wish I could say I'm just, one way or the other, because I feel like sometimes I'm a bit of both depending on the situation. And as long as it serves the story and there's a purpose behind it, like there's nothing wrong with taking some paragraphs and writing some detail. If you're describing like every single detail, then you're probably just gonna like lose your reader because nothing to do with the story. But yeah, I mean, if it's something that's gonna like play an important role later on in the story, or if you're trying to have your character interact with your environment in a certain way, then I think being descriptive can definitely be beneficial for you.
For those just tuning in, Tim is signing 900 signature sheets that I've already signed for something that we did together that will be coming out fairly soon. And that's all we can really say at this point. Paul has a great question. Tim, what is your favorite Lutzke book? Chad, what is your favorite Meyer book?
That is a good question.
The Switch House for me. I really like that premise. I thought it was pretty unique.
Oh, nice. Thanks, man. For me, I think I'm gonna go Foster Home. I just remember. I actually think I listened to the audiobook on that one, and it was just. I don't know if it was because sometimes audiobooks, the narrator plays such an important role in telling the story, obviously. But I don't know, man. Like it was so like emotional and like heartfelt, and it's short. I think it was only like 2 hours,
Yeah, it's like 2.5 hours or something, I think. Yeah, something like that.
It's real short, but like it just packs such a punch, man. And I love that story.
Thanks, man. That was Michael C. Gwynn who did that. Which when I've heard his voice, some books you can tell when you're like choosing a narrator if you want a female or male or someone younger, older. And I think I heard Michael's voice and it had so much emotion in it. And even though Foster Homes and Flies is first person perspective from a 12-year-old, I thought it worked brilliant. You know, I thought he did such a brilliant job. And he's in his 70s, but he's a character actor from the 70s and 80s, and he's been on gosh, man, I mean, so many, like Dallas, or the old some of these shows I'm going to say are probably way before your time, but like Dallas and Hill Street Blues and MacGyver and a bunch of shows from the 70s, like, oh, what was it? I think he was on Dragnet too. And Emergency, there used to be a show called Emergency, but he was on Knots Landing too. Just all these shows. He also did some voiceover work. He did some voiceover work in some Courage the Cowardly Dog episodes. And he also did a voiceover scene in the movie Jaws.
Really?
Yeah, where his voice was some kind of like over the CB for some helicopter thing.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Well, Redbeard said Brides is my favorite of the three so far. He's talking about the Gregor Zane Hanover series. And I've heard that was maybe the best one. Redbeard, he's read all but like 2 of Rash's books. Yeah, I've never read any of his books, but I love his short stories. Great author. I'm glad that John sent me that book and turned me on to him. Leanne says, yeah, that happens. I will be patiently waiting its end, though. And I have no idea what she's talking about. I'm sorry, Leanne.
I think she's talking about the fantasy novel. She asked.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yes, because she did ask about that. Yep. Nice. I did all my show and tell stuff. I don't have anything else to
already
show.
I've only been doing this an hour, dude. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get through all of them. I was feeling confident, but
yeah, there's a lot there, man.
Like, I mean, we're an hour and 15 in, and I feel like I haven't done anything yet.
Paul wants to know if we got a lot of stuff coming out in 2021. I am hoping to have all of the rest of the Neon Owl stuff out, which I plan on doing like 3 books. But if there's a bigger demand, then Tim just lost his connection. He got pissed and he's like, screw these signature sheets. I'm done. The Neon Owl, at least another book. Hopefully the next 2. There he is.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened.
And then the vampire thing, I'm sure I will have at least a handful of those out. But those are series stuff that I'm trying to tackle. Been writing something with John Bowden for a long time that we're super proud of, and it's going to be really heartbreaking. A great story, but we're really taking our time on that. And so, other than those, I don't really have anything planned. I mean, anthology stuff. Plenty of those are always coming out. Probably 3 or 4 of them before the end of this year, actually. What about you, Tim? Stuff for 2021?
21. What do I got coming out? So in February through Grindhouse Press, I have a novel called Paradise Club coming out. That one I had originally written for my Patreon, which is now defunct. Because I just don't have time to keep up with it anymore. But I had originally written it for that, and that was it was kind of an experiment novel. So if you were a Patreon, you could basically influence the story. After every chapter, there was like a decision that one of the characters had to make, and their actions were kind of put to a vote, so you could kind of like influence the story in a way, which I thought was cool, and it was a fun little experiment. And so Grindhouse has decided that they want to publish that in February, which is pretty cool. The cover reveal just came out, I think like a week or 2 ago. Scott Cole did the cover for it, and it looks really cool.
Yeah, that is a cool cover, man. I like it. I like that color of blue.
Yeah, I was like, was like, I kind of want like a teal, like I had like I had something similar in my mind. I was like teal background and like hot pink, like 80s.
With the 80s, yeah, totally, man, yeah.
So which is cool because it's like it's such a crazy book. It's basically about this family that wins like this week trip to this this private resort on this private island, and basically the whole island gets locked down, and a bunch of killers are kind of set free, and it kind of becomes like this big game and like a survival, almost like the Belko experiment kind of like that. So
Cool. Sounds like a good time, man.
but yeah, it's fun. It's very grindhouse-ish, so I'm glad that they picked it up because it fits with that. And then I have the big novel coming out in June 2021, Malignant Summer, which is a book I'm really proud of. It's the one that is like 200,000 words long.
Why didn't you break that up into a series?
I don't know, man. It's like 10 Chad Lutzke books put together.
Yeah.
So it's I don't know. I always wanted to write a really big book. The first book I ever wrote, the first Demon Blood book was like 170,000 words, I think. And yeah, I haven't really written anything that long since then. So I wanted to write something big. You know, two of my favorite books of all time are Stephen King's It and Robert McCammon's Boy's Life.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to kind of just do my own, just like a really big coming of age novel, supernatural, set in a fictionalized version of my hometown in Toms River, New Jersey. And like the background of that story is actually based off of true events, obviously very fictionalized because it's a supernatural horror novel. But when I was growing up, a bunch of kids in our town were getting like really sick with cancer. And turns out that there was like a local chemical plant that was just like jumping like cancerous toxins like in the ground. And like a bunch of people I knew got really sick from it. And it was just like a bad time. And so I kind of set that's like the backdrop. And again, like obviously I fictionalized everything, but kind of like the background of that story. So
yeah, how can you not write about that? You know?
Yeah, it's such a crazy thing. And I have a book actually. I'm gonna grab it real quick since we have time. Really good read. It actually won. Did it win a Pulitzer? I think it won a Pulitzer. It might have, but it's actually called Toms River, and it's basically about that whole thing. And how they found it, and how the chemical plant was like just covering the stuff up, and all the corruption and stuff. And it's like a wild book to read. It's actually infuriating. It's really infuriating to read, actually.
Dang.
But yeah, it's crazy, man. Crazy stuff. So I'm really excited and proud about that book. I hope people dig it.
You got a publisher for it?
Yeah, Silver Shamrock's putting it out. So yeah, I like what they're doing, and Ken was really excited about it. So
yeah,
it's being edited right now. Ken Kane's doing the edits for it, and like he always
good.
Yeah, he's great. He's a great editor, and I love working with him. And he sends me like little updates because it's such a big book, and he doesn't want to like. And it's not coming out till June, so he's like, I'll just do like 10 pages a day or whatever, and like every month he's like, oh, I'm like 40 more pages in. And I'm like, sweet, man. You keep going.
Well-read Beard says, out behind the barn, was that a back and forth? You wrote a chapter, John wrote a chapter. When I read that, I was only familiar with your stuff since I have read almost all of John's stuff. I'm going to have to reread it now to see if I can see the breaks in style. That I might be repeating myself here, but I did write an afterword, I guess. Yes, it was back and forth, even though it was a short story called Maggie's Farm. It was like, I think it was somewhere around 3,000 words or 3,500 words or something. John had submitted it like 3 times, I think. I liked the story, but nobody would publish it. And I told him when I read it, lengthen it and make it a book. There's a lot of good stuff in here, particularly the end. I was like, if you really build this up, the ending is just going to be amazing. And he's like, nah. So he sent it out a couple more times. And I think the last time he sent it out, I said, I hope that when you send this out, it gets rejected. Because you need to make this a book. It needs to be not lost in an anthology, because some people don't even like reading anthologies, or they don't get to them for a long time. And he could really make something cool out of this thing. So he's like, well, so he got rejected, and he's like, here, then you do something with it. And so I said, well, how about we add these characters and do this and this and this. And I was really careful at first with it, because it was kind of his baby. So I was like, just let me write some stuff. I'll show you that this can be kind of neat. And so I sent him back the stuff. He's like, yeah, okay. And he was guarded at first, and then he started to be cool about it. And then we did kind of go back and forth. But good luck, Kevin, trying to decipher who wrote what, because, I mean, some of it's going to be obvious. But we are both great mimics of each other. So when I'm writing with John, I can do all of the like, her voice was a rusty hinge on, whatever that John does, the weird kind of little metaphors and similes that he uses, the poetic stuff. And I use some of that stuff in my own writing. But John does it exceptionally well. Mm-hmm. And I remember when I first met him, I thought, and this was like 5 or 6 years ago, and I said, dude, how do you come up with these how long does it take you to come up with some of these crazy metaphors? And you know what? I'll give you an example, because he sent me this thing today that he wrote a long time ago. Let's see. The dark clouds were octopus ink, murky stains on the gray gauze of the sky. His father's house sat where it had for 100 years, perfectly perched on the curb, an ancient owl on a concrete branch. And yeah, John's got a great way of doing that. And I thought, this guy has done a lot of drugs. And he's just got this wild imagination. And John has never even so much as touched a cigarette in his life. Wow. So he's a very straight-laced dude.
That's awesome. Yeah, he writes so beautifully, and it's funny that you said like how long does it take you to come up with this stuff? Because like I read Walk the Darkness Down not too long ago, and I was like, every fucking line in this book is so perfect that like,
and it doesn't take him long, man. He says it just spills out.
That's like amazing to me, because like I feel like if I tried to write that style, like it would take me like 6 years to write a short story.
Right? I know. I mean, that's probably why I can, like, if I can come up with a good one and I don't have to think too hard, then I'll throw it in the book, and you'll find like maybe 30, 40 examples in a book, whereas John, it's like you'll get 30 or 40 in the first 10 pages.
Yeah, and they're all like beautifully done.
Yeah, it's very poetic, and it can be, I can see why some, I mean, in a sense, some of it's so it can slow you down, but at the same time, you just like the reading process, because there's so much involved in that sentence. Like, instead of like spelling something straightforward, he gives this beautiful visual.
Yeah.
And it can slow down, but you gotta appreciate the effort that goes into it. And he's such a great writer, and definitely a very underrated writer, for sure.
Like, his lines, even though they're like that, they never feel like wasted.
Yeah, no.
You're definitely gaining something by reading it.
But yeah, we did throw stuff back and forth. I think I had written a few thousand. I think I like doubled the short story by the time he got it back. and then we went with the rest of my ideas that I had for as far as like adding new characters and what their roles were. And but the end of Out Behind the Barn, the very, very beginning and the very, very end it's what I call a Bowden sandwich. That was the skeleton of that horribly sad ending. That's all John, man, and that's I just thought if it was done, if we could add more stuff, then people could really dig it. But yeah, even John and I, we read something that somebody points out in a review or something, we have no idea who wrote it. There are a couple things that I remember him specifically writing, and then I read it and I'm like, oh dude, that is cool. And I remember some of those. But Leanne says Switch House was rad. I really love the short stories at the end too.
Thanks, Leanne. I appreciate that.
Yeah, Leanne, the story that John and I are working on right now, it's going to be horribly heartbreaking. It's awesome. I don't know that I would call it horror, but it's dark and it will not surprise anyone who's read either of our stuff. She says, "You two always make me cry." Thank you. I think. Sorry. Well, Redbeard said something that I don't know what he's talking about. Tim, you're gonna have to tell me because I'm bad with that. She said, "You think like the surf at 2 a.m."
I have no idea.
Maybe that's a Bowdenism that he's.
Yeah, it's Bowden. Sounds like a Bowdenism.
Yeah. Yep. Leanne says, "Sign me up for that one, Tim."
Sweet. Consider yourself signed up.
So I've been doing all this cooking, and I went ahead and I get tired of chopping vegetables and stuff. So I bought this. I went on Amazon and I read all the reviews of like 8 different like vegetable chopping mechanisms and stuff. And I settled on one. I got it. And some of the reviews said blades are too dull. Some of them said they're too sharp. I cut myself. And it comes with this glove, like where you can't cut yourself kind of glove. When you're doing it, it's got different attachments. Some of the it's got like one of those things like almost like a Play-Doh factory where you can stick an onion in there and go like this, and it's already diced, the blades, and then it's got stuff where it's got like the mandolin thing where you can go like this and slice the cucumbers and all that kind of stuff. And so I'm thinking, you fools, you're cutting yourselves, and be careful. And then when I got it, I opened it up, I read the instructions, I washed everything. And I'm looking at it, it's like, be careful with the blades. And I'm like, yeah, I know. Dude, I put it away. And when I went to get it out of the cupboard, it has this trays where you put these like slots of different types of blades. And I grabbed the thing and immediately cut right into my finger by grabbing that thing, not realizing I was grabbing the blades. And so I'm getting blood everywhere. I got my... And so for the next 10 minutes, I'm, trying to stop the bleeding with a paper towel. And my wife gets me a Band-Aid and we put, triple antibiotic ointment on everything. And then it stops and everything. So I wrap it up. And then I start using the other part of this thing. I pick it up, I turn it over, and freaking rips into my other hand and my finger. And I felt like such a fool because here I am thinking, people shouldn't be messing with these things if you don't know how to be around blades without cutting yourself. And here I am bleeding from both hands. So, yeah, be careful, man.
That's brutal. I have seen your pictures of you cooking.
They're horrible pictures, but it's great food. Like my camera doesn't take very very good pictures.
Like I enjoy. I don't really think I enjoy cooking, but I think I'm like a good cook. I just never really like explored so much. But yeah, man, those pictures, I always it gets me motivated. Like I wanna do that. But then I'm like, I'm just gonna order Chinese.
You should do it, man. Do it. There's some cool recipes online.
Yeah.
Here's a show and tell. I got a stack of these the other day. These are the Egyptian Arabic versions of of foster homes and flies, and they read backwards. So the book opens all backwards like and stuff. But
That's
it's a cool cover.
Yeah, that is awesome.
Little, yeah.
That's one thing I love to see is like a something of mine, like foreign language.
Yeah, it's cool. It's like a nice little trophy on the shelf. Anybody got any questions or
I still have
discussion topics?
about 700 to go.
Oh, that's it.
Thereabout. Oh man. I have a question for you.
Yeah.
What was your favorite day job ever?
What was my favorite day job?
Yeah.
When I was 17, I worked for this Schwinn bicycle shop putting together bikes. And there's several things that were cool about it. One was whenever I had to put together a bike, I'd have to go into this little small warehouse thing that was a warehouse is not a good name for it. It was a room, but the room was packed full of bikes in cardboard boxes. So there was like no room to walk. You had to climb over stuff and like get in the middle of everything and then try to lift boxes and read boxes and stuff. So as soon as you walk in there, you're like in this cool fort and you have to manipulate these boxes in like some kind of weird Jenga game and grab the particular bike that you wanted and then get it out of there and then put it together. And we had these stations that you strap I don't know what they're called. It's like this kind of they keep the bike elevated and they hold it by the body, by the frame. And then you've got all these cool tools and you just completely assemble that bike, just me and this other dude in the back of this bike shop, putting those together. And then the best pizza place in town was right behind us. So every lunch break, I get this little pizza that I could barely finish because it was so thick and they put so much cheese on it. And so that was probably my favorite job. I didn't have it for that long. I kind of screwed it up and started like calling in and stuff. But I also had a job where I built for a couple of years dental appliances like retainers.
Really?
And yeah, that was a really cool job because each station had its own thing that it would do. You'd get like the people that would read the script and then bend the wires based on the mouth, and you have a plaster cast of the patient's mouth, and then from there it would go to the acrylic person, and they would based on the script and what color the kid wanted, or if they wanted any kind of like decal buried in there or their name buried in the thing. And then they would pour the acrylic and then they would have to like cook that. Once that was done, it would come to me and I would make it from this just nasty glob thing that was super, super thick. I mean, we're talking like, and these are retainers like 1.5 inches thick all the way around. And then I had all these Dremels and it was my job to make that like, fractions of an inch or a millimeter or two thick so that some kid can put the retainer in his mouth.
Huh.
And then once I got all that smoothed out and done and cut properly, then it would go to another station where they would polish it and everything. And that was a really cool job. I've had a couple cool jobs. What about you, man? What's your favorite that you've had?
My favorite time job was being a movie theater projector.
Oh yeah, man.
Yeah. Not that projector, I was a projectionist.
Right. They didn't shove the movie up your butt and you fed it out your mouth.
That would have been cool.
With a light. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a great job, man, because I could just hang upstairs in the projection booth and just watch movies all day long.
Yeah, but wouldn't that be getting boring? I mean, did you have something else you could do when you're like watching the movie for the 20th time that you didn't even like the first time you saw it?
No, I mean we didn't have to like feed the reels like in the old like 35 millimeter
Mm-hmm.
projectors where you had to like change the reels and stuff. It was on a
Yeah.
flat system, so like all 5 or 6 reels or sometimes 7 or 8 reels, they were all already put together.
Mm-hmm.
And so you only had to like rethread the projector after every show. So I mean, it was a 10 theater multiplex.
Mm-hmm.
So there was a lot of downtime though, and I got to use that time to write. I would write a lot.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's yeah. I had a job like that. I had a lot of, I guess, what you would call downtime too. A couple of years I worked in a AFC home, third shift for mentally ill adults, and essentially crazy people. And I would, it was just me, and I would stay the night there, and do bed checks, and in the morning pass out meds, and then I was out of there. So I worked like 11 to 7. And so I had all kinds of time to read, and I didn't write then. But I was going to college and I could do my homework at there. And I think I used to bring my video game system and my dog, and I would just stay up all night and make sure that nobody stabbed me and nobody stabbed anyone else, which has happened. Yeah, I got lots of cool stories from that. Some of which I started writing part of a book with some scenes, and I did write. In the last issue of Shock Totem, I wrote what's called what the heck did they call that? Like a nonfiction horror story kind of thing. And I talked about an incident at work. And I was on the editorial team for the last year or so with Shock Totem with Mercedes Yardley, and I read one of her things, like nonfiction narrative. And she had this really cool one, man, where she worked at a place where it had like, I can't remember what it was. It had like younger kids that were like mentally ill and had like issues. It sounded like it was kind of like a juvenile hall for younger kids. And it was kind of dangerous for and a lot of them, I think, they had like sexual issues too. So her being a woman working there was kind of like this risky thing. And there was this kid there that started to become kind of dangerous, and I guess creeped her out and creeped a lot of people out there. I don't remember how old he was, but she went into his room one day when he wasn't in there, and he had this thing mapped out of a drawing of her pointing to different parts of her body on what he would eat first and stuff.
What?
Super creepy, man. And she wrote that story in one of the issues of Shock Totem, man. It was just... It was so cool.
Yeah, that is creepy.
Tim Meyer with the robot voice. You have a robot voice?
Do I sound like I have a robot voice?
Nah.
No. I think it's Brant's computer. I think he's the one.
Jason says, I want to know when Lutzke's going to watch all the Emily online. Dude, I said that I would do it with you. And on my defense, yeah, I didn't know that most of them, I guess, aren't about a house. I love the Amityville horror. I like I wish it were like not a hoax. I grew up, I was 9, I think, when that book came out, and it was such a good time to be alive because it was so scary, and it was, it wasn't a hoax then at the time. Everybody was talking about it. They were on talk shows, and it was cool.
I live actually in my hometown of Toms River. They actually shot the original movie.
Well, really?
Yeah, the house that they use is actually in downtown Toms River. I think it got knocked down maybe like 15 years ago, if I'm not mistaken. But in that,
you mean that house in the movie?
Yeah, in the movie.
I was gonna say the original house is still standing.
Yeah, not the original house. The house that they used to shoot the movie was in downtown.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
And yeah, there's a few cool shots of Toms River. There's one where I think the wife is like driving over a bridge, and that's like the Seaside Bridge to go into like Seaside Heights, which is like where they filmed the Jersey Shore. that MTV TV series. So
I've never seen it, but I know what you're talking about.
yeah, everybody knows that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a cool little Amityville horror story.
So for those just tuning in, Tim is signing 900 sheets of paper that I've already signed, and Stephen King has ordered us to do it for his something he's trying to publish. No, it's a secret book that will be out fairly soon that we wrote together.
Starting to break a sweat. Is that normal?
Maybe it's the beer.
It's the beer. Which reminds me. So it's time to crack open the Atomic, man.
Jason says, challenge accepted. I'm an old grizzled horror series vet at this point. Dude, I will watch them with you. I just don't want to. But you get to talk about them. So you get to kind of, there's some redemption there, I guess.
Well, we'll have to have you on though and talk
18 times.
Maybe you get
a lot of those movies
to like one episode.
Brad says the Amity event. I was born on that day.
That's crazy.
On the day of the DeFeo murders, or the day that the Lutzes moved out, or
the murders. I know it's not a challenge, but I'm making it one.
Recorded an episode of Paleo Cheese with Max Booth III on last night.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
That's awesome. What did you guys talk about?
Well, the second hour we talked about It Follows, which was a killer discussion. That was great. The first hour was, dude, we talked about all kinds of stuff.
I feel like I'm the only person that doesn't like that movie.
Oh, okay. I think I have to go. Good luck with the SIGs.
Good luck with
Paul says, Tim and Chad, if you could pick one of your books to be made into a movie, what would you pick?
Oh, that's hilarious. Man. You want to go first, or you want me to go first?
I don't know that I could really choose just one. I have plans for that I would like to do with several of them. I think that I always thought that Skullface Boy would make a cool movie if it was shot like A Scanner Darkly. Using that kind of like cell shade animation, whatever that kind of animation is, where it's over actors. I thought that would be cool, and I think that the Same Deep Waters You would make for a really cool, super dark indie film. I mean, yeah, I don't know that I really have like one that I would like to see. But yeah, with that animation, I think that would be cool. The Day of the Murders, the DeFeo murders. Then,
yeah,
I will totally come on for an Amityville episode. Just tell me what I need to do, what I need to subject myself to, and I will do it.
You guys should do, because there's isn't there 30 movies or so?
I don't know if I'm allowed on that show though, you guys. I don't drink.
You don't have to. You can drink. I would say just limit it to like maybe 5, because if there's 30 movies or 18 movies, you said.
I think that's what Jason said at some point, 13 or 18 or something. But I think they're not really Amityville movies. They're just they're because Amityville is a city or whatever, a place. That you can't have you could just toss it on the name of a film.
Yeah, it's like a property.
Have Amityville anything.
Right. Yeah, but, I think maybe watch the first 4, right?
Yeah. What about you, man? What do you have a book in particular that you'd love to see more than any of them be made into a film?
I mean, that would be cool to see all of them just in that medium, just because it'd be different, you know.
Yeah.
But I had to pick one. There's already a script for the Switch House written, and I mean, I would like to see that happen. But for stuff that hasn't been written for film, I don't know. I think it would be a toss-up between maybe like Limbs, because I think that'd be kind of like an entertaining, funny movie, or like Kill Hill Carnage, just because it's just like an insane creature feature, and we don't really get those anymore. Like a lot of the creature features nowadays are kind of, I don't know.
You don't like them?
Yeah, they're not as like campy. I guess they try to be taken a little bit too seriously. I watched actually I watched two creature features this week that were actually, well, one I liked, one I didn't like. And the campier one was the one I liked. Attack the Block. Have you ever seen that?
No, I never even heard of it.
So it's like it was filmed in the UK. It's got John Boyega, I think is his name, right? From Star Wars, the new Star Wars films.
I haven't seen any of the new Star Wars movies.
I think I pronounced the name right. Anyway, him and the lady who plays Doctor Who now, Jodie Whittaker. Anyway, they're in it, and it's basically about like this alien invasion that that happens in like South London, and I don't know. It's kind of ridiculous and crazy, but it's really good. I enjoyed that. And then I watched this one called The Monster. I don't know if you've seen that. It's like about this this mom and her daughter. They get trapped in their car, and there's like this creature monster in the woods.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't like it. It was kind of.
Dude, have you seen Monsters?
Yeah, that's
dude.
That came out like 15 years ago or something, right?
Nobody talks about that ever.
Yeah. I didn't like the sequel. They made like a sequel to it.
I didn't see the sequel. I almost didn't watch it because it's got a horrible poster for it.
Yeah, it doesn't have a good poster, but that's a really cool movie.
Dude, that's a killer movie. And those special effects at the end where the monsters are like having sex or whatever at that gas station.
Yeah.
You know, when they like meet up. That the dude who directed and wrote the film, he made all those special effects on his laptop.
Yeah, insane.
That is such a good underrated movie. Jason says, finally found a movie Tim doesn't like, and it's one of the best horror movies of the past decade. Jesus the Christ.
The Christ. Oh man.
Is that a real movie?
What? Jesus the Christ?
Yeah.
No, I think he was talking about It Follows.
Oh yeah. I gotcha.
Jesus.
I gotcha. Yeah, man, we were talking about that last night. It Follows, and I had when I first saw it, I was like, oh, this is the best movie I've seen in the last 10 or 15 years. And then I saw Hereditary, and I was like, oh, this is a contender for first. But then I've seen Hereditary like 3 times, I think, and I've seen It Follows 3. And while Hereditary is scarier to me and more disturbing, I think It Follows I think I might like that more because it's such a fun ride.
I have to watch it again. I mean, I've had like experiences with movies before where it's like I'll watch something and I'm not impressed with it, but then I'll go back and watch it again, and it's like a different experience. So
sometimes it depends on who you're watching it with too. If you're watching a movie with somebody they're not enjoying it, that can ruin it for you.
Yeah, absolutely. I remember when I saw Prometheus in theaters, and I mean, I had some pretty like critical reviews, and I remember watching with a group of friends who were just like making fun of it the whole time, and like I was really into that movie. I like Prometheus, like I'm a fan of it, but like it was hard to enjoy it because they were just like making fun of it every 2 seconds. So
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it definitely, viewing experiences can change, and the setting definitely can contribute to whether or not you like a movie or not. So I have to go back and watch it, Paul. I only saw it once, and I don't know. I don't really remember a whole lot of it. I remember like there's like a parking garage scene or something, and somebody like trapped in their car for like a large portion of it.
Don't drink the beer and watch it, and then see if you like it.
And then no, I just remember like little snippets of it, and I don't remember like any of the characters, and I think that was kind of like my problem with it the first time I saw it. Like there's no like characterization, but who knows? I mean, it's been like 5 years since I've seen it. I saw it when it first came out, and revisited it since. So listen, I'll make an attempt. I'll watch it again, and then I'll let you know if I like it or not.
Paul's got to run. Hey, Paul, thanks for stopping by, buddy.
Yeah,
thanks for all you do, man.
Love you, Paul.
Jason says It Follows is solid, but it isn't The Dark Tower.
That is true. They make fun of me because I like the Dark Tower movies as well.
Yeah, well, you also like Mick Garris's The Shining.
Yeah. Listen, I have like a weird taste of movies, man. I'll defend Mick Garris. Forever conversation. Not that I don't have 4 hours worth of work ahead. Dude, I can't believe it's been almost 2 hours, and I still have a pretty healthy stack left.
Hour and a half, 91 minutes. You're doing
I'll
good.
go as long as you want, man.
I'm trying to think of something cool to show off.
Show us something cool.
All right. Okay. I saw this cool video on YouTube for like making Halloween decorations, and my wife and I got these, and my son, we got these dollar store skulls, just like the plastic skulls that you get at the dollar store. They're hollow, and we watched this video on how you can turn them into like decaying zombies or mummies or whatever by using just Elmer's glue and toilet paper and paint. And so these are the ones I made. And I painted this one green. I don't know if you can. There we go.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, I wish I had a before thing, but they're just like the regular black and white skulls that you get for $1.
Yeah.
It's just the hollow things. But they look like the way that when you use that toilet paper, they just look like, you know, like those mummies that you can get. I mean, these. Where's it at? But this was fun, man, and these are way easier than they actually look to do. They're super easy and they're fun. We're gonna just be used for Halloween decorations, but we keep them out. I keep them in my office all year round. So, what's your favorite T-shirt that you have?
Oh man, so many.
How many do you think you have?
I have a cool. Well, I like the Chopping Mall one a lot because I love that movie. And
yeah, that's a great movie.
It's just such a cool shirt. It's so 80s and retro. So I have to say that with a close follow up. I have one like this I'm wearing. I don't know if you can see it.
Yeah, Long Live the Videodrome.
Videodrome. I have one like this, but
that looks like a Creepy Colors shirt.
It's Cavity Colors, I think.
Cavity Colors.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of what's the other one? Cavity or Creepy? What's it? There's Cavity Colors and Creepy something. I mixed the two up.
I have another one. I'm pretty sure it's Cavity Colors. Same like design, like the baseball tee with the red and black of Dead Alive.
Nice.
And it's like image of you've seen the movie, right?
Oh yeah.
With the lawnmower, and he's just like chopping everybody
Yeah.
up. It's like that, and like that's one of my favorite like scenes in any movie ever.
It's got a little bit of blood in that scene.
A little bit, yeah. It's so gross. I love it. I remember the first time I watched it, I was like,
dude, there's so much to take in. If you watch like I would assume the unrated version is the only one you can watch now. But when I first saw it, I had heard it was the goriest movie ever.
yeah.
And then we watched it with my dad, and we were kind of disappointed. But then it's because we were watching a version that had like 15 minutes cut out of it.
Really?
Yeah.
I got
so
the only version I have.
So then we got the unrated one, and it was a huge difference. Yeah, I love that movie. I've seen it so many times. It's definitely the goriest movie I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's pretty gross.
Bad Taste is pretty good too. Not as good as Dead Alive.
I started watching Bad Taste the other night. Actually, and I fell asleep. Never seen it before. So,
it's not a great movie, but the gory scenes are pretty gory and they're fun to watch. But it's not as good as Dead Alive.
Yeah, I love Dead Alive so much. I wish that that would get a Blu-ray release or a 4K release or something. It deserves it. What about you? What's your favorite T-shirt?
Oh man, dude, I don't think I really have one. I have I've got so many T-shirts that I have to swap them out, like and pull like 30 out for winter and then pack 30 in for just so that there's room in my dressers. I have so many. But I have a couple though that I do have a couple cool mashup shirts, and one of my favorites is I'm a big The Cure fan, and so I have a shirt. You're probably not familiar with with what I'm talking about, but like there's an iconic picture of Robert Smith from The Cure, and he's got like his guitar, but it's just a silhouette. You can see his hair sticking up all over. And it has that image, but it's him standing that silhouette in front of the Exorcist house. So at first glance, it looks like it's just an Exorcist t-shirt, but then you realize that it's Robert Smith from The Cure standing there. That's one of my favorites. I have another mashup like that too, but it's a Donnie Darko one. And instead of the priest standing there, it's Frank the Rabbit standing underneath the streetlight.
Nice.
I like shirts like that. I got a couple of Black Flag mashups that I like. One's got the Black Flag bars, but it says Book Club instead of Black Flag in the font. But I got a lot of movie shirts and stuff that I like, but I don't know that I have any like one favorite because they change. I'll see one that I have to have, and then I'll get it and be like, this is the greatest shirt ever made. And then I'll get another one, and same thing.
Very cool. Very
I suppose if I had a shirt that said Mick Garris' Shining sucks, that would probably be my favorite shirt.
I hate you.
That was for Jason.
Oh, guys. I think I should. Do I have that? I do have it.
Zach says, I first saw Bad Taste on like 6th generation bootleg VHS in high school. Yeah, I've seen some movies like that. Oh, wow.
So that right there.
I thought that movie just went like straight to Laserdisc or something. And
no, it was on
stayed.
It was on something.
The only thing I liked about that movie at all was the fact that I've been to the Stanley Hotel, and they had in like the late 80s, and they had like this. I'm sure they they kind of recognized it more, but they had like this display case where it talked about the origins of The Shining and the Stanley Hotel and stuff like that. And then the so when that miniseries came out, they filmed parts of it and then they rebuilt like the Stanley Hotel. So it was cool to see that because I've been there before, but I hated the rest of the movie. Jason asks, favorite movie of all time, regardless of genre. What's your favorite movie of all time?
Oh man, that's such a weird question because like I feel like it changes all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I feel like the obvious answer is like Jurassic Park or something because it's like a movie that like changed the 8-year-old version of me when I first saw it.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I guess that's a good answer, Jurassic Park. And I can just rewatch that movie over and over and over.
Yeah, it's a good movie. I like it.
The Thing, though, has definitely become like, at least like top 3, and sometimes I feel like it is my number one. What about you?
I don't know that I can do that, but I can give like maybe tied, like 3 movies tied for first place, I guess.
Yeah, that's fair.
Kubrick's The Shining, Magnolia by P.T. Anderson, and P.T. Anderson's Boogie Nights. I'm a big P.T. Anderson fan, but I love Magnolia and Boogie Nights.
Solid choices. I also throw like maybe like American Psycho in there. I really love that movie as well.
Yeah, that's a good one. Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. It always changes. It's always changing.
Yeah. And then later I'll like always think of a movie. Oh yeah, that's right. But those are kind of like my 3 go-tos that when someone asks what my favorites are, those are usually the 3 that I because I was just so impressed with just the filmmaking and choice of music and cinematography and the acting. I'm not the biggest Mark Wahlberg fan, but he was like born to play Dirk Diggler in that movie. He was so good in that movie. And I'm not a big Tom Cruise fan either, but same thing, man. That dude was incredible in that movie. And Philip Seymour Hoffman was like my favorite actor, and he does such a great job in just about nearly all of P.T. Anderson's movies until he died.
Yeah, that was a bad one.
Leanne asks, which baddie is the best, Michael, Jason, or Freddy?
Oh, for me, it's Freddy, hands down.
I don't like Freddy at all.
I figured you wouldn't because you're not like a supernatural guy, right?
Well, I don't think it's that. No? I think when I first saw the movie, I was disappointed because I didn't think that Freddy Krueger looked like a burn victim. He just looked like someone who like maybe slipped and fell on a pizza.
Yeah.
With his face, because he's got like, usually a burn victim, they'll have their nose is gone. Not to say that they can get an actor with a nose gone, but he had like the opposite. Instead of at least having a nose that maybe went up that you could see his nostrils, he has like this hook nose, and that bothered me initially. And then just the campiness of it, because to me was just not scary. And maybe that has to do with all of his one-liners and stuff.
Yeah, I don't know. I love it.
Yeah, it's not horrible, but my favorite's Michael.
Yeah.
Just
I like Michael too. I like the Michael Myers movies. I think they're solid movies. I like all the Friday the 13th movies too, but I mean, like Nightmare on Elm Street, just those movies I could just watch over and over and over and over again. And I just like the whole concept of being able to like enter someone's dream, and
that is a really cool concept. I finally saw the Nightmare on Elm Street remake. I think it was earlier this year. And the makeup I thought was superior just because it legitimately to me looked like a burn victim. But man, it was a hot garbage mess of a movie.
Oh yeah, the movie's awful. I just actually tried to. I watched it once, and like I remember hating it. And then I think it was on, might have been like Showtime or HBO or something. And I was like, is it really as bad as I remember? And I got maybe like 25 minutes into it, and I'm like, I can't watch anymore.
A lot of it has to do with his voice too. For some reason, it just doesn't. It doesn't sound right. It's dubbed over or something.
I don't think it's really. I don't think you could put it all on him either. I think just the movie itself is just terrible.
Yeah, it's poorly written.
But maybe they'll reboot that and do something with it, because it is such a cool concept, and like there's so much you could do in that world.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
I actually like
is a cool concept.
the new Halloween movie though. Did you see the new Halloween movie?
You mean the one that came out like a couple years ago?
Yeah, like last year or 2 years ago.
Yeah, freaking loved it, man. Loved it.
It was solid, man.
I was not expecting to like it that much.
Yeah, me too. I was like, this is
gonna sound awful, but at the beginning when Michael kills a kid, I was like, because that doesn't happen in slashers. They always bypass the kids.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, he bypassed a baby, but I mean, come on. But there was like a kid that was cruising around with his dad, and he killed that kid. The kid was like, looked like he was maybe 13 or 14 or something.
Yeah.
And so as soon as that happened, I was like, okay, this is gonna be awesome.
Yeah, I really liked it. I thought it was very well done.
Yeah.
And Danny McBride, I mean, who knew, right?
Yeah, he's the one. Yeah, he did that, didn't he?
He
write it?
I think he wrote, like, I think he has writing credits on it and like producing credits, but
yeah,
did not know.
Plus, the mask is good. It's a lot of that for me is the mask. I mean, the only mask I like is the the one used in 1 and 2, and then
you like the grittiness of it.
I don't know, man. Somehow about the lips and cheekbone that just they got it right the first time, and then in the other movies, it just doesn't look as good to me.
What do you think about zombies movies?
I think he's got a really good artistic eye for things, but I think he should be the art director and not the director. I don't he's one of those directors, kind of like, I don't know, where he pays a little bit too much homage to the films that he likes, so they just reek of them.
Yeah.
Like they all reek of like Texas Chainsaw.
Yeah.
And but I thought that I didn't hate the first Halloween. I hated the second one.
Yeah, same. I did not like the second one at all, but I actually I've seen the first one a few times, and I enjoy it. I mean, it's not like my favorite, but
yeah.
But yeah, that second one is really bad. It's like almost unwatchable, I think.
Well, plus like Michael, like he like screamed or something in there too, and that pissed me off because Michael doesn't do that. Yeah, he said like a word. He said like one word and yelled a word or something, and I was like, "No, are you serious?"
I just remember like not liking it at all.
Jason said saw Tenet today. Realized how stupid I am. I haven't seen that.
Oh, I want to see that. I'm a huge Nolan fan, so.
Oh, is it Chris Nolan movie?
Yeah. Honestly, like with the like what's your favorite movie thing, like Batman Begins is probably up there too, at least like top 5.
Yeah.
I have a question. What's your favorite biopic?
Oh, man, dude.
Totally non-horror related question.
Man, dude. I'm having a hard time thinking of anything but Rocket Man, which I saw this year and I thought was pretty good.
Yeah.
The only thing I didn't like about it, it was just the same old, you know.
Yeah.
The whole story was just atypical for that kind of, or typical for that kind of, you know, scenario. Just childhood, and then you get everything you want, and then you fall into drugs, and then you come back, and but it was a good movie. I like the way that it was done. I can't even think of any right now, dude.
Mine's Walk the Line. Like, I love that movie.
That's a good one. Yeah,
I could watch that like over and over again.
That is a good one. God darn, man, I can't think of any right now. People, give me some biopic flicks that have been made in the last 40 years, 50 years. Jason said, if you thought Inception was tough to follow, Tenet is on another level.
Like, is it good though, or is it like, I've heard really bad things about it?
Tenet?
Yeah, I've heard like negative stuff.
I don't know.
Pretty much anything Nolan does is.
Hey, good. Tracy Robinson's in here saying hello.
Hey, Tracy.
Leanne says, okay, Halloween 3, yay or nay? Heck yeah, man.
Oh, I love Halloween 3.
It's just it's a whole different animal. Just pretend it's not called Halloween 3.
I wish like Carpenter was able to like continue with that, because that would have been really cool to just do like non Michael Myers movies.
Yeah,
I love it. Like, that's just like pure cheese, and I love it. And I get that tune stuck in my head all the time. The little jingle.
Oh yeah, dude. I'm trying to think of a biopic that I've seen that I liked, and I can't think of one still. There's a David Bowie one coming out, or maybe it came out already and I missed it. That'd be a cool one.
Yeah, I haven't seen that one.
Jason said Behind the Mask, The Rise of Leslie Vernon is a solid biopic. That's an original film, man.
Need a second viewing though on account of my idiocy. So he doesn't know if it's good or bad. We're still at it, Tracy. Still plugging away here. I'd say I'm about halfway done, man.
The Extremely Wicked, Shockingly Evil, and Vile was a good biopic.
I heard that was awful.
Really?
Yeah,
I liked it.
My wife said she did not like it at all, and I was actually I was kind of excited for it because I had watched like a couple of Ted Bundy like documentaries like leading up to it.
Yeah,
and like just that story is just so interesting, like his like personality, and
yeah, it really is.
Just like the things that he did. But like I just heard that movie was so bad, so I stayed away from it.
The documentary, the one that Netflix put out.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, that's good. You know what's even better? I thought was, especially if you've seen the Henry Lee Lucas one. I think it's called Confession Killer.
No, I have not seen that one.
Oh man, dude, that's one of the best documentaries I've ever seen. I had no idea. I read a book on Henry Lee Lucas, and I just thought he was this serial killer that killed, countless women. But the way they're doing these documentaries now as like a series with even like cliffhanger type stuff, so crazy.
Like
that one is fantastic. What?
Making a Murderer.
I haven't seen that one, but like, what is it? What's that one called? Taken in Plain Sight or something like that?
Oh yeah, I heard about that one too.
That was good, man.
Making a Murderer we saw the first season of, and it was really good. Sorry. Yeah, the first season was good. I didn't watch. I don't know. Is there like 2 or 3 of them out now? Didn't see them. Tenet is genius, but so fucking hard to follow. Honestly, it's the kind of movie that makes me want to write more and give up at the same time. Storytelling on another level. That's encouraging.
That's weird. I didn't get that message on my screen in the chat room. The one you just posted.
Oh no, there might be a delay. Maybe. I don't know.
Tracy said The Staircase is a wild true crime documentary. I haven't seen that.
I haven't seen that one either.
I don't know. Is Into the Wild? Do you think that would be considered a biopic? Probably not. It doesn't really go over someone's life, just a year of their life or whatever.
Yeah, is that the one with Emile Hirsch?
Yeah. Oh, I know what my favorite biopic is.
Go for it.
What We Do Is Secret. It's the story of the Germs, punk rock band, the Germs. Which
Boogie Nights is your favorite biopic because it's the.
Oh, dude, I didn't even think. Of course, yes. Okay.
Higler.
Yeah. John Holmes, but that's pretty fictional too.
Yeah.
But it is. I mean, it's based on John Holmes, so. Tracy said that's hell of a book too. I've taught it, and the students definitely learned a few things. That's cool, man. When I went to school, they taught us garbage books that nobody was interested in. It's why I didn't start reading books until I was like 24.
Oof. I always liked in school.
Oh man, because they just had us reading like All Is Quiet on the Western Front and Romeo and Juliet, and
yeah, I mean, the Shakespeare ones were tough.
Yeah, and I was like, if this is what reading is, man, I don't want anything to do with it. I'll stick with my Fangoria. My Famous Monsters of Filmland.
Getting there.
Ashley M says, what's one really... Hey, is it your wife?
Probably.
What's one really classic, popular book that you haven't actually read? Oh, there's so many that I haven't read.
Yeah, that's her. Yeah, there's a lot for me as well.
I've never read The Stand. I know that she probably means something a little bit more contemporary, like
literature.
Yeah.
I guess Stand literature.
Like I've never read anything like Thorn Birds or Grapes of Wrath or even like Fahrenheit. Or I did read Catcher in the Rye, and that's hot garbage.
I mean, I know there's something.
Gone with the Wind. I've never read that.
I've never read that. I don't know. I can't really think of anything. I mean, you said the Thorn Birds. I've never read that either.
I've never read. Here's a couple: Dracula or Frankenstein.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I love Frankenstein. It's such a great book.
Yeah.
Dracula, I'm not like a huge fan.
Is it a hard read? Frankenstein's a hard read if you get the original? Isn't it's not?
I don't think so. I mean, I've read it maybe like 3 times.
I thought it was like kind of a hard. What's it called?
Frankenstein.
But it's got another. It goes by another name, like the Prometheus something or another.
Oh yeah. I don't know what the the long-winded name of it is.
I thought that was a hard, like kind of a hard read. Jason had to read Crime and Punishment in 11th grade. Almost jumped off an overpass. Never read that.
Never read that either.
Yeah, while we were reading Romeo and Juliet and stuff like that, my friend in another high school was reading. They were reading Tolkien and Poe.
Yeah.
Poe's not an easy read, but I love his stuff.
Oh, same. Yeah, we read I think it was in like 7th or 8th grade. We got to read The Hobbit. It was pretty awesome.
The modern, yeah, there you go.
The Modern Prometheus.
Modern Prometheus. Which is the version I have somewhere.
I don't remember it being a hard read. I have it somewhere. I got a different version.
Yeah, there it is. Frankenstein, or the Modern Prometheus, the 1818 text. Which I wonder if you just go out and get Frankenstein, if it's just something a little bit different. I read a chunk of this. Maybe that's why I thought it was a hard read. Okay, I'm going to read this whole thing out loud while you do the rest of those.
Chad Lutzke read The Modern Prometheus, Chapter 1.
Ashley says, how do you feel about people who read the last page of a book first before they read the... Oh, man, that's an evil thing to do.
That's like the 7th circle of hell is reserved for those people, right?
But, I mean, if that's what they want, I guess that's bizarre. I've heard of that, but I don't know anyone who does it.
Yeah, I don't know either. That doesn't seem like a...
That doesn't make sense to me. I don't know.
Yeah. But I have heard of people doing that as well.
Oh, here's something I could show. I bought this on Etsy years ago. It's a the Lawgiver Buddha. It's like Lawgiver from Planet of the Apes Buddha mashup.
That's cool. Planet of the Apes.
Yeah, man.
The movie or the planet?
The movie, man. The original.
That was
Jason had to read The Lottery my senior year. Made me appreciate my teacher a lot more. I've never read that either.
The Lottery?
Yeah.
I've read that. I have a Shirley Jackson like best of. I think it collects pretty much everything she's ever written.
I don't know if I have anything of hers, to be honest. You still using your green pen to sign the 900 sheets?
I thought it was getting killed, but still going. But I got the orange as a backup.
Monster Men shared Shining movie facts, 25 facts about Stanley Kubrick's The Shining on its 40th anniversary. I'll have to check that out later. I probably my guess is I probably know all about them, but
probably. Tracy asks, favorite non-horror movie?
We were just talking about that. Well, non-horror movie, either Magnolia or Boogie Nights. P.T. Anderson.
I mean, I guess you could consider Jurassic Park as a...
That's a horror movie.
Yeah, as a horror movie. But yeah, like maybe Batman Begins, like I was saying. such a great movie. But like anything Nolan's done, like Memento or like Inception, like those movies are just.
Have you ever seen The Machinist?
Yeah,
That's
I
a
like
good one.
that. Yeah, dude, he lost so much weight for that movie.
Yeah, I think he lost more than anybody has lost for a film.
Yeah, he did Batman Begins like right back to back, so we had to like bulk up. And they said like
That's not good for you.
Yeah, like that much change that quickly was like really bad for his health.
Yeah. Ashley says, if you had to write a nonfiction book, you were forced to, what topic would you pick?
Interesting. The wife's got all the good questions.
Probably have something to do with music, or maybe a biography.
Yeah, I would probably do like something sports. It's like I like sports, so maybe like a biography of a sports player that I really like.
Or maybe like the history of special effects in cinema.
There you go.
That'd be cool.
That would be cool.
You know, I was watching. Speaking of The Machinist, I was watching. What was the name of that movie? I'm thinking of Ending Things, and I was kind of hoping that eventually it would have some type of Machinist type coming together at the end. Have you seen it yet?
No, it's on my list because I love
Okay.
Charlie Kaufman.
I won't say anything then.
I'm a big fan of Charlie Kaufman.
What else did they do?
What?
What else did Charlie Kaufman do?
Oh, a couple of my favorite movies. Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
Okay.
Adaptation. Being John Malkovich.
Okay, so he's out there.
Yeah, he's got like some crazy stuff.
I will say this though, it's I'm thinking of Ending Things is an exceptional demonstration on excellent dialogue.
Yeah, he's great at writing dialogue. I love Adaptation, and I think I told you about that movie.
Jason just put up a new Final Guys intro with Tim's glorious hair.
Do it
on the Twitter page.
Gotta check that out now. Oh shit! Hilarious.
Well, they finally got you in there.
Yeah.
As a regular now.
That's crazy.
That's cool, man.
Honored. Me and my robot voice. Tracy says, have a great night. Bye, Tracy.
See you later, Tracy. Thanks for stopping by.
Dude, I think the green is going.
Yeah.
Yeah. Getting there. Gonna have to switch.
What, you got a favorite graphic novel?
Yeah, I do. I would have to go with either Watchmen, which is probably my favorite, or Why the Last Man, which
I've
is
never heard of that one.
a series. Um, Why the Last Man is like really interesting. It's about a kid who wakes up and finds out that he's like the last man on Earth, but everyone with a Y chromosome is dead. So it's basically just him and the world full of women.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's so good. They're actually they're supposed to be making a television series. I think they shot the pilot for it, but like nobody picked up on it, which is crazy because it's like it's the best.
Yeah, that happens a lot, man. A lot of money is spent on pilots that never get picked up.
Yeah, it's so weird. Dude, the orange looks good too. Very
Yeah.
happy. Yeah. So
I'll give another hint about the book.
ooh.
I know actually I think we've even said the title publicly before, like months ago, but when we're chatting about it, we use the initials WW.
Yeah,
That's all you get.
that's all you get. I'm sure people know what it
Unless they missed certain, like, I think we talked about it in some kind of like online thing that we did once.
possible. Yeah, I think we said it and posted about it. I think I even posted like a screenshot of the manuscript that one time.
Oh yeah.
But
I think that at the time it was a tentative title. Do we have other tentative titles? Do you remember?
I don't think we did. I think it was just this. This was the tentative title. We're always like, should we add to it? Should we change it to something else completely?
Yeah, maybe it was. I thought it was something before that. Maybe we just called it like Lutzke Meyer thing project or something.
That's what we named our shared file.
Oh, okay.
It was like the Lutzke Meyer thing, which I still think we should just change the name to that.
Yeah. So for those just tuning in, Tim is signing 900 pieces of paper that I have signed that is going into a book, 900 of them that will be out this year, a little bit later this year. Excited about it.
Very.
It's coming of age. And if you've seen movies like, I don't know, Super Dark Times, I guess, is that the name of that one?
Yep. Yeah, that's cool.
It's not necessarily like that, but it's, it's in that kind of, it can have that kind of feel, that dark coming of age feel.
We are getting there. Brant puts up a good question.
What's the matters where they live?
In the Mouth of Madness.
I haven't seen the. Yeah, I'd say In the Mouth of Madness. I haven't seen They Live. I don't think I've seen that since the 80s.
I love that movie too. But I think in terms of like story, In the Mouth of Madness is just a better overall story.
How has Ashley says, how has quarantine period affected quarantine period? Sorry, Ashley. How has the quarantine period affected your writing? For me, I had a difficult time at first, man. What about you?
Has
it affect your writing?
Been off and on. Like some days it's been, I usually go through like stretches. So like some weeks I've been able to like really hammer down, and then there were some weeks in those periods where I just couldn't like do anything because it's like it's kind of nerve wracking, at the time. We didn't really know what was going on. People weren't going to work.
Yeah.
There's like so much uncertainty. It was hard to like really concentrate. And that was like right about when we were in the middle of our thing too. So
yeah, that definitely slowed us down. And I just couldn't get like motivated at all.
Yeah,
to write. It was, and I had so much that I needed to write, but Christian says, wait, Chad writing coming of age? That's crazy. Yeah, isn't it? Am I ever going to stop doing that?
We've never done that before.
Jason says, In the Mouth of Madness or Big Trouble in Little China.
Oh man, those movies are so different from each other.
He's pitting Carpenter movies against each other.
I know what he's doing, and I like it.
I'm not a huge fan of Little China.
Really?
I didn't hate it. And I haven't seen it for a long time, man. A lot of this crap I saw a long time ago. But I like In the Mouth of Madness, man.
I like In the Mouth of Madness more as well. But Big Trouble in Little China is one of those movies where I first saw it. Like I didn't really like it at all. But then like it's one of those movies, the more you watch it, it's just like such a fun movie to watch. But still, In the Mouth of Madness, probably my top 5 favorite movies. So
that's why you got your poster.
Yeah. Can't be being replaced though because it's a little wrinkled.
Yeah.
Doesn't really fit in that frame. So I have an Army of Darkness poster coming, which is going to get replace it.
I almost bought there's a movie I really like called River's Edge, and I almost bought a poster the other day. I used to have the poster when I was a kid, and I think I gave it to some chick that I liked or something. I can't remember, but
sucker.
I was gonna buy it again. Yeah.
That was the best thing about working at the movie theater, or one of the best things about
heck yeah.
The movie theater was being all the theatrical posters and like
dude, you get promo stuff too? Just like weird promo stuff?
Yeah, like they'd send us like hats and t-shirts and stuff, and sometimes they would send us like DVDs and stuff too, which is weird.
When I was a teenager, my dad, my biological father, I was living in Michigan. He was living in Denver, Colorado, and he would send me all this. He worked at a video distributor or something like that, VHS. And at the time, it's 80s, so VHS was just so freaking huge. And he would always send me the coolest horror movie promo stuff that he would get at the place. He sent me, and almost all of it I don't have anymore, and I wish I did. When Reanimator came out, he sent me this really heavy paperweight that was dude's head in the thing, but it was just like pewter or lead. It was and then he sent me little mechanical pencils, but they were they said Reanimator on them, and they look like syringes. And then he sent me a switchblade, some comb switchblades from this movie called Tough Turf.
What?
And I think he sent me some kind of like first aid kit from some splatter movie, and I can't remember what it was now. Just stuff like that, man. Just like weird promo things. And he sent me an inflatable Godzilla. It was like 6 foot tall. I think that was an 85, and a Ghostbusters telephone.
What?
Yeah.
That would be a or something.
In the Mouth of Madness or The Ward? I haven't seen The Ward.
Brandt's Cut Off.
What's The Ward?
It's I think it's a Carpenter movie they did probably within the last like 10 years or so.
Huh.
I think what's that girl who was married to Johnny Depp for a little bit?
Winona?
No, recently. They're like
the Amber chick?
Yeah, she was like the star of it. Getting there, man. I'd say I got this much left.
That's all?
Yeah, man. Well, that and this little pile. Probably like less than 200, maybe.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
burning
Actually-
through it.
Ashley says, what's one of the first horror movies you watched as a kid where you had trouble sleeping afterward?
I know The Exorcist really messed me up. That one, I probably saw when I was like 9 or 10 years old, and just a lot of the stuff in that freaked me out. But I this is a funny story. E.T. When I first saw E.T., which is not a horror movie, by the way, but I always found the beginning of that movie like creepy when I was a kid. And
Oh, really?
yeah, like I don't know, it's like the first like act where they're like outside and it's dark and like, dude, it used to scare me so much when I was a kid. And like I used to think that like ET was like outside my my bedroom where I was trying to sleep, and I wouldn't be able to sleep.
Oh, man.
Yeah, fucking ET. I still don't like that movie now to this day.
You don't like it? You didn't like ET, man?
I mean, I do, but yeah, it was weird. It did become like one of my favorite movies, and I used to watch it all the time. But I'm not like a huge fan of it now.
I think I was 12 when it came out, and oh, dude, everybody went nuts for that movie. I loved it. I think it was, I cried. I remember crying.
Whoa!
I think I cried when they found ET down by that river, man, where he was all chalky.
Yeah, I haven't seen it in so long, man.
I think one of the first horror movies where I had trouble sleeping. There was a movie made for TV movie that I don't think I watched, but they kept playing previews, and it really creeped me out. It was a Karen Black movie called The Strange Possession of Mrs. Oliver, and just some of the stuff in the previews really. Oh man, I had trouble sleeping. You know what's weird is I didn't know the name of that movie until like I think it was last year I finally found the name of the movie and I watched the whole thing. that was The Exorcist though, man. I couldn't get through that. They had a TV edited for TV version on, and I got not very far in it. I think I got where Linda Blair just physically she looked fine, but she like rolled her eyes back and yelled something or something, and I was like, nope. And I turned the channel, and then it came on again on TV a little bit later, you know, like months later or something. And I watched a little bit further until she was jumping on a bed, and I said, nope. I just couldn't make it, man. And then finally, I think it was like a year or two later, I think we rented it. Me and my friend, and we rented it and watched it, or not rented it. This was before that. Maybe it was on Laserdisc. I think it was before VHS. I can't remember, but we watched it somehow, and it was the rated R version. And because I remember we also watched I Spit on Your Grave, and we were young. And it was awkward because his mom was there. And we're like, I think I was like 12 or 13. No, I think I was like 13 or 14. And yeah, so we're watching I Spit on Your Grave. I don't know if you've ever seen that, but that's not something you watch with your mom.
Nope.
Jason said the ward isn't good, so I figured it was Tim's favorite.
Oh, Brand. You're hilarious.
Alien or Aliens? Aliens for me.
Yeah, I would agree.
Alien's a good movie, but it's just too slow.
It is super slow.
Which I didn't realize until I watched it again like a couple of years ago, and I was like, dang, I don't remember it being this slow.
Yeah, Aliens is definitely quicker and more fun, I think.
Plus, you got more than one alien.
Yeah. But I like Alien too, just because it's like it's definitely like a quiet horror.
Yeah.
Slow builds, which I like. It's got some iconic scenes in it too that I enjoy.
He asked if Predator is a horror movie. Yeah, it's a creature feature.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sci-fi horror, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay, I got a question for you, Jason.
Yeah.
You are in charge. I have a question for Jason. You're in charge of writing and directing a movie in a franchise. You either the next Ghoulies film, Wishmaster, or what's another one? Or Children of the Corn. Let's go with Ghoulies or Children of the Corn. Which one would you rather direct and or write?
I'm gonna say he goes Children of the Corn.
Yeah, that's what I think too. Because you could potentially do some really cool stuff with that.
Yeah. Where Ghoulies, what are you gonna do with Ghoulies?
Yeah.
We just answered the question for you, Jason. You don't have to answer now.
He said Children of the Corn, but I would farm it out to Tommy Wiseau. Oh, hi, Malachi. That was my...
That's good.
I got a friend request from someone named Oh Hi Mark the other day.
Oh yeah, that sounds like legit one. You should.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I got a thing the other day. I get really uncomfortable with people like that I don't know like wave to me and stuff in chat, and I don't know why. It's like they'll send me a friend request and I'll accept it, and like 15 minutes later they're like waving at me.
Yeah.
And I'm just. But this person, they sent me a friend request back in June, and he says, and then he sends me a message that says, "Chad's the name we all want, brah." And then he said, "You got it." And I said, "What does that even mean?" And he said, "I'm not sure. I'm just trying to be silly." And then he sends me this GIF of Tom Green saying, "Is it the Chad?" And so I just ignored him at that point. I don't know this guy or anything. And then that was in June. And then Friday, he sends me a message that says, "Hello, my friend." And I just said, "Hi." And he said, "I need your money. Me need money. Money, me, money now." So needless to say, we're not friends anymore. And
yeah, good choice.
I very rarely block people. I never block people, but I'd block that dude. I don't know what that was about. Like, I got money to give.
Yeah. Should have been like, oh yeah, me too. Need that.
Jason said Children of the Corn has potential for 30 pages of a short story.
Really good short story, though. If you ever get a chance to read it. If you haven't read it yet.
Yeah, I have. Years ago.
Oh, dude.
There is a cool scene in one of the Children of the Corn movies. I think I've only seen 2 or 3, but it's like this dude with goat legs, like creeping from one room to the another room or something, I think. Wow, dude, you're almost done.
That's it. Oh, finish line. I didn't think I was gonna get the room tonight, but
me neither, dude. I'm gonna I'll be right back. Use the bathroom.
How do we get Lutzke to scares that care? That is a good question, Mr. Brandt. How do we? I mean, the obvious answer is to kidnap him, right? We could do that. We could drive to his home in Michigan, come into his house at night, kidnap him. I think he was supposed to go last year. And he didn't. So close to being done right now. It feels really good. Gunpoint will work. How was Bad Ben? God, man. It was an experience, that's for sure. You know me, though. I have like an appreciation for super low budget stuff. And that was pretty about as low budget as you could get. But I didn't hate the story. Just like with those movies, if you're going to do that, it has to feel real. It's one of the reasons why I don't like Paranormal Activity, because there's like very little character development or anything, and it's just kind of like cheap camera tricks, and you can kind of tell that it's fake. So I thought it was pretty bad. Don't recommend it. I didn't watch the third one because it was so bad, and I hated you for it. So. Brant has a question for you.
Okay, I just have to put my thing. How do we get Lutzke to scares that care? I was there this year, dude. Did you not see me?
No, I didn't. Were you supposed to go or something?
I mean, I thought about it.
I thought Bowden told me that you were going to go or something.
Yeah, he wants me to go.
You should, man. It's a good time.
Yeah. Hookers or blow? I've never had a hooker.
I'm sending you a picture.
Okay.
You'll find it funny.
All right. What? Oh no. Oh, what? It's a keepsake now. Oh, jeez.
It's all good.
There's only one, right? Like that?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I know that he sent us more than we needed.
Yeah,
But-
I'm like super scared that I was gonna do the same thing.
That would suck. Yeah, I mean, you can't. You might as well keep it.
Think so?
I mean, what's he gonna do with it? Send it to me?
I was just gonna forge or something. Just kidding.
Oh, there you go. Right like a girl. How was Bad Ben? I haven't seen that. Have you seen Bad Ben?
Yeah, he made me watch it. It's terrible. Don't do it.
Oh. Hey, Jason, have you seen Mr. No? I think it's called Mr. No Legs.
Oh, I started watching a movie on Prime, and I fell asleep during it, but I gotta go back and finish watching it. Have you ever heard of a movie called Butt Boy?
What's it called?
Butt Boy.
No, it's on Prime.
Yeah, it's a movie about a serial killer who shoves people up his butt.
I might have to see that.
Yeah, it's real interesting. And like I watched like the first like 30 minutes, and you would think with a premise like that it would be super ridiculous, but it's shot like so seriously.
Yeah.
And like it's a serious movie. It's actually, and it works. What I saw.
I'm gonna send Jason a scene from Mr. No Legs so he can. Or how do I? Can I do it in here? Yeah, I think I can do it in here. That's a scene from Mr. No Legs. I've never seen the movie, but I've always wanted to.
Well, that was the last one, man.
Very cool. Congratulations.
Thanks. My wrist didn't fall off.
Yeah.
All 899.
I just thought of something else I could have shown and tell.
Well, do it, man. Do it. Nice.
My socks.
Yo, did you play that game yet? The board game?
No, I haven't, man. I've got it sitting right here.
Yeah, I have it
No.
here, and I haven't been able to play it because none of my friends can come over.
Yeah. And I've got a gaming group that we game nearly every week, but we haven't been able to do it in months.
Yeah. Same. Oh man, that was a thing.
Now all of our work is nearly complete. I think we need to do like 45 more signatures. Is all eventually.
Eventually, yes, that is true. Yeah, that was fun. I enjoyed that.
The no legs thing didn't come through. Can you copy and paste the link?
Why
I know
did
it didn't come
yeah,
through, but
what are you trying to do?
should be able to copy and paste. Oh, did my link just not show up? I'm gonna send him a message on Twitter then, so you can see this.
It's called Mr. No Legs.
Yeah. There we go. I just sent you a Twitter message, Jason. So Tim just signed 900 sheets, signature sheets for a book that we wrote together. I've already signed them. They will be going in the front of the book. And you'll be able to get, we'll be able to announce it in 9 days. We'll be able to do a cover reveal and where you can get the book. And obviously it's a limited edition.
Oh.
Jeremy Hepler, great author, says, did any songs or bands specifically influence this story?
Not to me. I mean, I wasn't influenced by any.
No, I didn't. I mean, I have some lyrics in there from one of my influences, and a couple different bands I pay homage to, but they're really hard to find Easter eggs. One of the bands I use, I pay homage to often and stuff. I like using lyrics for or song titles for mainly lyrics for short story titles, because you can find a cool phrase, and when taken out of context, it sounds cool. I wrote, I've done that with three different Misfits songs. One was Crowding Up a Human Face for a story I wrote in an anthology, and one I just sold called Here in This Place is the Means to an End, which is from the Misfits song Green Hell, which Metallica covered on one of their 598 Garage Days thing. Yeah, I gotta see Mr. No Legs too, man. That is just, I mean, I feel bad for laughing. This dude is, but did you see the clip, Tim, that you did not go through for you?
No.
I'll send it to you so you can see it, because it's funny. This guy has throwing stars on his wheelchair. And he does like karate.
Sounds awesome, actually.
Have you ever seen Crippled Masters?
Mm-hmm.
It's like these two guys that one, his legs are like completely atrophied and they're useless, but he still has them attached to his body. And then the other guy just has like kind of nubby arms. So they like connect and fight people and stuff and do all this weird choreographed fighting using the other's legs and then the other's arms. And it's crazy movie, man.
That's outrageous. Outrageous. All right. I don't know. Do you have anything else? Do we have anything else?
I don't. I was just here to support and try to entertain whoever happened to pop in by showing my socks and rocks.
You did a great job, man. Thanks for stopping by and
yeah,
keeping me company.
Yeah, it was cool to hang out and chat and
yeah, a good time to do that. Yeah, so next Monday, everybody will know what this was for.
A week from this Monday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Monday after this one. The 21st. So.
Yes. And finally we can talk about it, and that'd be cool. It's always cool when you can finally talk about something.
Yeah.
Share it with people.
I mean, we've been keeping this like in for so long. been
Yeah.
keeping it a secret for so long.
Right.
So, yeah, man, thanks for hanging out. Thanks everyone for joining us.
Yes.
We had a great time, and yeah, that's it. That's all I got.
All right, man.
All right, have a
Okay.
good night, everybody.
Yeah. See you, everybody.